Hi, Kate. Are we online yet?
Yes, we are.
Yeah, I guess we can start. Can
Sure.
you hear me well? Can you hear me well?
Yes, all is fine.
Okay, good. All right. So greetings to everyone who joined us today. My name is Mohammed Kazanov, and I'm Business Development Lead at AxxonSoft, responsible for APAC region. And it's definitely a pleasure to see such an attendance today. And I see that people all over the world, not only APAC with us. And the topic that we are covering today is called Advantages of Integrated AI-Powered Security System, as you can see on the screen. And I hope with the help of our global technology partners who were so kind to join us today, we'll be able to cover it as much and as broad as possible, even though according to our format, we have only 15, 20 minutes for our parts. So we also have our colleagues today here, answering your questions in the chat during the presentation. So please feel free to ask if you have any questions. Okay, I would like to thank our technology partners, Intel, Seagate, and EverFocus for joining us. So we will start from a short intro, and I'll start from Malcolm Chen. Hi, Malcolm.
Hi, Mohammed, and hi, everyone. Good afternoon or good evening, depending on where you're from, and happy to participate and represent Intel in this webinar today. So just a very quick introduction. I manage ISV-based accounts from Intel, and AxxonSoft is one of the leading ISV accounts that we work very closely hand in hand with. And yep, that's a very quick intro. And Mohammed, back to you.
Thank you very much, Malcolm, for joining us. And the next presenter is Danny Lim from Seagate. Hi, Danny.
Mohammed, thanks. Hi, everyone. Hope everyone is staying safe and healthy. I'm Danny, the global lead, business development lead for video surveillance segment in Seagate. I'm based in Singapore. So it's always an honor to be invited and have the opportunity to really share more about storage with the partners that attend the webinar today. And certainly we've been working very closely with AxxonSoft for many years. Looking forward to it. Thanks.
Thank you very much, Danny. And we have Kate Chen from EverFocus today. Hi, Kate.
Hi everyone. Afternoon. EverFocus is located in Taiwan, but we are doing a global business. Besides, we have the head office in Taiwan. We have branch office in USA, in Japan, also in Shenzhen, China. So we are happy to be invited by Exxon to give us the presentation about our EverFocus solution and powered by Exxon software.
Thank you very much, Kate. So, okay, let me start. And let me start from some brief information about our company. So we've been on the market for 17 years. So we operate globally with 50 offices worldwide and more than 500 employees by now. We have over 6,000 certified partners selling our products in more than 100 countries. And they have completed over 500,000 projects based on our software. So this is brief information about the company. Okay, so any efficient system must be based on definitely efficient components. For video surveillance systems, those are cameras, obviously VMS, server, storage. So to benefit from advantages of those components, it is very important to ensure that they all work with each other well. So the integration is the key. It builds on the ability of VMS software to use advanced features of each of those components. So in other words, VMS is, kind of hub for all those components. So if we're talking about the intelligent system in particular, about the system that uses AI video analytics, then effective VMS should be able to receive metadata from smart cameras, meaning use the result of camera-based video analytics to reduce load on the server. In this case, you can increase the number of cameras that can be connected to a server, and thus to reduce costs on the hardware. Also, use all computing resources available on the server, like dedicated AI accelerators, CPU, GPU capabilities, and at the same time balance the load between those devices. Using accelerators enables you to process more video streams on one server as well. Use of high performance and reliable storage is also essential for any video surveillance system. Storage performance is especially important with a large number of high definition cameras and when using smart search in the video footage. And I'll definitely, Danny from Seagate will elaborate on that because this is basically what they do. And let's move to the analytics. So in the current situation with this COVID around the world, solutions that help to control compliance with the different sanitary restrictions have become very much in demand. And our solutions help to minimize spread of this viral infection by providing organizations with the capability to ensure safe and a healthy environment. Let me show you some of the capabilities of this analytics. So we support body temperature measurement with many thermal camera models, and we've integrated a lot of them. So you can set the temperature threshold and see the results of body temperature measurement superimposed on the video. Social distancing here is based on AI posture detection, and we also have a face mask detection based on a facial recognition tool. So upon detection of people not wearing medical masks in the public places and organizations where it is a mandatory requirement, system will send an alarm to operators, ensuring that they won't miss any issue that require immediate attention. And in each of those three cases, the operator can get email or text notification. All those cases are also recorded, and events can be instantly retrieved from the storage. Okay, so more of AI capabilities. Let me also start the video. So here you can see behavioral analytics. Neural network basically determines the position of the individual's body, head, and limbs, which makes it possible to detect certain poses. For example, in this situation, you can see, man down. It can be, this can be actually happened anywhere, and probably someone is feeling unwell. Or for example, someone crouched down next to the ATM is most likely a burglar. Or raised arms detection is useful at banks or stores to notify security of a possible armed robbery. And this is also very useful in the situations when staff cannot hit the panic button. A visitor counter based on a posture detection tool can be used to control queue length. Handrail holding detection was also developed at by the request of a large manufacturing company, which needed to monitor workplace safety. So all those cases are very useful, and they are being deployed at the real projects, and they're also available with our software. Next few slides will focus on object detection and counting. So if lighting conditions or camera field of view, change, or you need to detect a specific type of object, neural network needs to be trained, from the video footage from the actual site. And we at AxxonSoft, we have a department that does this training, and we've set up the lab. And this is basically a resource-consuming process. When done correctly, trained neural network should work well, even in a very challenging conditions. I'll give you a few examples of real-world tasks, our clients requested. And let me play the video and show you. So this video will give you a good overview. On the left, you see regular video motion detection. All moving objects are detected. As you can see, leaves and shadows are highlighted. So on the screen on the right shows a neural network that detects only individuals in the scene. So this is how to avoid false alarms. This is a real-world, example of a specifically trained neural network at the farm. The difficulty was here that there was different moving objects in the scene and non-standard camera positioning. Nevertheless, it accurately classifies only individuals. Another example is keeping poachers from getting into wild park. When the system detects human and not animals, then it will give you the alarm. So you could see the video during the day. At the same time, you can see the video during, recorded during the night. So, surveillance conditions are more difficult, and there are many moving objects that could cause false positives, but the system, as you could see, detects only individuals. Thermal camera are, let me, just a second. Let me also play another video. Yeah. So this is a thermal camera, and this is also a great tool for protective extensive perimeter and working in difficult weather conditions. And this is an example how a neural network detects individuals on this scene from the footage from the thermal camera. It highlights an individuals, but as you see, not the vehicles, for example. So yeah, this is a real-time site, and you can see how neural network basically works here. AI object detection can be effectively used to count visitors as well. Let me also show you the video. And here we have non-standard field of view again, with the camera facing down. Still, the video analytics accurately detects visitors crossing the virtual line. So we use this analytics to control number of visitors within the sales floor to comply with the anti-pandemic restrictions. System basically collects data from all access points. So upon reaching the limit, message appears on the public display and at the entrance, and it notifies visitors to wait for access permission. And here the system is counting propane tanks moving on a conveyor belt, and the idea is the same as with counting visitors. So only neural network is trained to detect propane tanks. So this is how we tackle various tasks using the same standard detection tool, but different neural networks. Okay, monitoring parking time. For this project, the maximum permitted parking time is 30 minutes. So the system detects a vehicle and continuously tracks it as a single object. After 30 minutes, operator can receive a notification that perimeter time has been exceeded, so you can basically control the time that the car is spending at the parking slot. All right, so a less common example is monitoring rail car wheel set maintenance. As you see, analytics detects just the wheel sets while ignoring individuals. So with the use of the virtual line crossing, it detects when the wheel sets roll into the vibration platform and when they roll off. These events are sent to a third-party software platform that measures the wheel set's dwelling time on the platform and counts the total number of wheel set devices. And wheel set count of number of wheel set that are being serviced. So yeah, this is another example of non-standard video analytics and how we actually implemented at the real site. Here we see a neural network detecting real cars against the moving background. And by the way, the video that you can see here is filmed from the drone. So the objective is to count the number of rail cars that pass on each rail track in different directions. And notice that the video analytics delivers stable results regardless of day or night. And this is another funny example and quite an uncommon example, which is actually a real project. The goal is to count the pigs brought to the facility. As you can see, there is a lot of chaotic movement, but the neural network shows very high accuracy. So yeah, so we have many many other cases as well, and this is quite interesting one. Another example here, we have two examples of controlling protective equipment, such as identifying when someone is wearing a hard hat and or a high-vis vest. On a technical level, these solutions are notable because each one uses two different types of neural network at once. First is the same as used for posture detection. It detects individuals and identifies parts of their body, head, and in the first case, and the upper body in the second. So the second neural network determines whether a hard hat or high-vis vest is missing on each of these scenarios. This example shows how custom-developed analytics tackles non-standard tasks for our customers. On this slide, we will see the smoke detection at work. Let me start the video. So this is as well a real video from a forest fire prevention project. Here, PDZ cameras are mounted high up on towers. They cycle between presets to detect smoke rising above the forest. Neural network was specifically trained in similar environments to distinguish smoke from clouds, fog, and dust. So there are several cameras like this. When two of them detect smoke, you can use their panning angles to accurately identify hotspots. They can detect smoke as far as as far away as 20 miles, and the location of the flame within hundreds of feet. So this solution has a huge practical value because many regions regularly suffer from forest fire, and standard fire alarm systems cannot be applied to wide open spaces. So yeah, and we have done several projects here. We've done in Belarus, we've done in Turkey, and some other places, and right now we're doing in Hong Kong. So this is a very interesting and solution that is being used by our clients. All right, so if on previous slides you could see more real-time features, or I would call them prevention tools, now we will review some interesting and very effective investigation instruments. So on this slide, you'll see our smart forensic search feature, and we call it MomentQuest. And searching in MomentQuest is very fast because it's based on metadata, which are calculated for all moving objects in the field of view of the camera. And metadata contains object attributes that are saved as text strings to a spatial database, and the same time as the video itself. And let me play video here. So on this video, you can see that first we have picked a certain direction. And what we're going to do, we're going to search all objects that pass this line in this given direction. And once we've punched the search button, we will have thumbnails and instant results. So after that, we are going to apply an extra filter, checking the box human. And yes, and the system will show only results with the people crossing the line in a given direction. So there were 4 instances, as you can see here. And again, results are just instantly displayed in thumbnails. And we're going to apply next filter, which is a color, choosing a red color, and the system will show you the object of a red color that crossed the same line. And we have one instance where we see the red car that crossed this virtual line. Yes. So another case, we're going to create a zone and we want to find a multiple object appearance within this zone. So after setting the parameters and drawing the zone, we will hit the search button, and the system will instantly give us the results, and we will also indicate number of objects that we want to detect. And as you can see, we have instantly found 4 people that appeared in this specific zone. And lastly, we want to find object movement from one to another zone, as you can see on the screen. So once we've set the zone A, let's say, and then zone B, and we want to find a movement, any object that moved from zone A to zone B. So once we press the search button, we will find instant results of all objects that were moving from zone A to zone B. And then we will apply an extra filter, human. And we're going to see only instances with a human, with the people that were going from zone A to zone B. And there you go. So this is just a few examples, but you can have many different scenarios depending on your needs and requirements. You can specify search criteria like motion in the area, line crossing, loitering, abandoned object, and many others. And at the same time, you can apply such filters to search results as size of the object, color of the object, type, and speed of the object. Another type of search that is especially useful in large installations is a face and a license plate search. Let me play both videos. So Axon Next captures and recognizes human faces and vehicle number plates and stores the corresponding data. And using this data, you can quickly check a person's photo or a vehicle number, full or partial, against the video footage. And this may be useful on the sites to pinpoint where and when the person of interest appeared and what they did in those places, basically. In a citywide installations, you can locate the places most frequently visited by suspect and find out where they were last seen, you know, in the same time for a vehicle. Yeah, this is an example of license plate recognition. As I mentioned, you can enter or full license plate or just the part, and the system will accurately indicate the car and find the car and a license plate that you've been looking for. Okay. So another useful feature of our software is called time compressor. It captures all moving objects in this, in the scene at different times and displays them in a short video clip. So using this tool, you can review hours of recorded video in just a minute. It's basically a time synopsis. Let me show you the video. So in this video, you can see that people captured at different times are displayed simultaneously. And when you spot an object of interest, you can click to play the corresponding video fragment in full. You can also view search results in time compressor, and also with the face time compressor as well, not just random objects. So we think that this is especially useful in in this scene with a relatively few motion. So you can, as I mentioned, you can find the object of interest in just a seconds. Okay. So age and gender guesstimation. This feature is mostly used in retail. And in this case, facial recognition tool guesstimates visitors' age and gender. You can get reports to estimate the percentage of different genders among your customers, and the same for age. And this data is used for customer analysis and marketing purposes in general. Another retail feature is visitor activity heat mapping. Let me show you the video. So based on this video, on the videos that received from the cameras, the detection tool determines where visitors stop and how long they linger, and and this is represented in the heat map. This is used to capture visitors' interest in different areas of the store, stands, showcases, shelves, advertising areas, and others. And based on this info, you can optimize store layouts, measure effectiveness of product placement, allocate staff hours and locations efficiently. Metadata from IP devices. And this is how our VMS uses metadata from smart cameras. AxxonX supports a wide range of cameras with embedded video analytics. It can receive events from age-based analytics to trigger an alarm, for example, when the number of people in a specified area exceeds the predefined limit. Our software also stores event data and links it to the video feeds, which is used for searching alarms, video. For some camera models, metadata is, user supported. This means AxxonX receives scene descriptions such as moving object size, color, and coordinates from smart camera and uses it for its real-time video analysis and forensic search as well. So there is no need to decompress video on the server side. So this means that server can handle more video streams, definitely. GPU resource utilization helps offload the server CPU. In our product, Intel QuickSync video technology available on Intel processors is supported for hardware decoding of H.264 and H.265 and H.265 plus video streams. This is used on server side to decode video for motion detection and provides about a 2-time reduction in server CPU load compared to the CPU-based decoding. This way, we free up CPU resources for other tasks, such as more sophisticated analytics. Thanks to this, servers can process more video streams at high-definition resolution and even higher. And more cameras can be connected to a single server, reducing the hardware expenses. And this Intel QuickSync video can also be used on the client side as well. All right, so AI analytics require quite sizable computing resources. Currently, if the number of cameras channels exceeds 10 or 20, with the AI, it's almost impossible to build a cost-effective AI video surveillance system without using dedicated AI accelerators. So to optimize the workload and ensure that our AI analytics operate quickly, we have partnered with Intel and now use their neural accelerators and specialized tools in our products. OpenVINO Toolkit extends AI analytics workload across all available Intel hardware, including CPU, GPU, and accelerators, and maximizes the performance. With the OpenVINO, AxxonX supports dedicated AI accelerators based on Intel Movidius VPU, for example, or Mustang V100MX8 accelerator cards. So on such cards can handle actually up to even 70 human detection channels, which is quite significant. All right, so my last slide, and just want to say that up till today, we have done tens of thousands of projects around the globe based on our software of different scale and complexity. And one important thing that I also want to mention without our technology partners that are here today, many of those projects would be quite hardly achievable. And thanks to our joint solutions that make our system so flexible and technologically advanced, and because of that, if our customers have some non-ordinary project requests, AxxonSoft team always happy to help them. And often where others say that they're not able to complete or cover certain requirements, we're there to help and satisfy our customers, offering the best possible solution for them in combination with the hardware of our partners. All right, that's it from my side. Let's let's now we have a next presentation by Intel. Malcolm, please let me stop sharing my screen.
Hey, thanks, Mohammed. Just give me a second to put my screen up.
Sure.
Okay, so thanks, Mohammed, for your precursor and your initial presentation just now. So for those who just join us, if you have not heard our introduction, my name is Malcolm. I represent Intel in my capacity as the IoTG partner account manager, and my role basically spans across the APJ territory. AxxonSoft is one of our many partners, but indeed, if you can see from just what Mohammed presented, the solution is indeed very impressive and it's very widespread in terms of the application. So before I actually go into my presentation, let's just take a step back and sort of call back to what Mohammed presented just now. I think with the COVID-19 pandemic affecting most part of the world, as what Mohammed has mentioned, a lot of us, and especially government and public entities, are realizing the importance of video analytics now more than ever. But we also cannot disregard the fact that surveillance video cameras and video analytics are very ingrained in a lot of our daily applications. We have seen video analytics improve health and medical technology, improve our lives with smart home applications, agricultural, advance our public safety, which is one of AxxonSoft's applications here, and in fact, even improve productivity in factories and manufacturing. And it can also be applied in business efficiency to lower down costs, and from an overall perspective, help protect the planet. Right. Video analytics can and have made a big impact in many applications that transform our lives. And one of Intel's goal is to be able to enter this space and help improve lives as well. So that is Intel's goal, to be able to be part of everyone's life and touch everyone's life and make it better. From smart devices to intelligent edge to even to multi-cloud, Intel actually has a very diverse selection of solutions to satisfy the needs of our customers. But at its core, Intel offers processor chips, as we all know. Depending on the approaches of the AI modeling, the data sizes, as well as other requirements, we have a whole suite of product that we can offer to customer. Of course, the CPUs is what we're mostly known for. The CPU is also the most flexible processor for all workloads and is the foundation for AI, including both deep learning training and inference. Our CPU now actually includes built-in AI acceleration, but actually if you still need more, Intel has you covered on that side as well. For things like data parallel workloads, including artificial intelligence, high performance computing, if you have any media and graphics, you can use some of our integrated or discrete graphics card. So recently, Intel just launched our Iris Plus graphics, as well as the XE line, which is the Iris Max and the Iris XE. So these are discrete graphics that we have recently introduced to the market. But then, the next natural move to this is, of course, to leverage your technology and enable your solution stack to be more efficient running on these CPUs, and essentially making it more compute conscious. So by the way to do that is to optimize your software layer with Intel's distribution of OpenVINO toolkit. I've used this anecdote a lot, and one way to look at it is, imagine if your solution and the hardware that powers your solution is a vehicle. OpenVINO would most likely be a very good or very experienced driver. As good as your vehicle and your engine is, you'll need a very experienced driver who knows what he's doing to be behind the wheels. So essentially, that's what OpenVINO is from an anecdotal point of view. It allows you to actually harness the innate and organic computing power of our CPUs. Now, after that, if you ever need to test your workload, we have what we call the neural compute stick. We have version 1 and version 2, and I think Mohammed a moment earlier ago just showed one of our neural compute sticks as well. So the neural compute stick is actually a very convenient and a very, I would say, a very fast approach if you want to test the limits of your models once they have been converted to OpenVINO. Our neural compute stick actually contains the vision processing units of Movidius MirrorX, which I will talk about in a moment soon. So this is a good upwards progression because the neural compute stick is a USB-based input. So what you can essentially do is, if you have a system or if you have a prototype unit or you have a pilot deployment and you realize that if you cannot support that many channels and you need to test out an immediate surge of computing, raw computing power. So the neural compute stick is something that will work very well on your remote PC setup or on something like an Intel NUC, a NUC, right? So with the USB, you can quickly see how far you can go and how far you can stretch. So if you need to go to the next level, if you need higher performance, and if you need some really very dedicated and very specific use of your modeling and your application, this is where vision accelerators come in. We have the Intel Movidius line, which is by category, it's a vision processing unit. But we also have FPGAs, and we have two of them. One is the Aria 10 and the Stratix 10. So if I could just give you a very quick run through, if you need real-time, low latency deep learning, that's when you will use our FPGA. And if you need a highly efficient vision and media inferencing unit for a list of applications, IoT, edge, device applications, that's when you will use a Movidius MirrorX. So for video analytics, for AI, and for edge devices, this is the Intel roadmap and approach that we would have. And we would always recommend a sequential approach. As I say from the beginning, our CPUs are built with innate AI capabilities, and you will move progressively along as and when you will need more computing power. So if I go to the next slide, and what I want to do is just to take the next 5 to 10 minutes to talk about, we have spoken about the Intel technology. Now we need to talk about how we're actually helping AxxonSoft deliver their performance and deliver the video analytics. And I think I think Mohammed covered this, but let me just go into it a little bit deeper. So there are three aspects where Intel is deeply integrated with AxxonSoft's application, and the first one is definitely OpenVINO. And as I've said, the Intel's distribution of OpenVINO toolkit, it works like a vehicle. It works like a driver that carries the vehicle of neural network inferencing, right? And AxxonSoft use it in their AI analytics tool to help detect a various classification of objects and behaviors, pose, things like that. And you can refer to one of the references that I've included here, but according to one of the test results, the neural network inferencing actually rises by 8.3x when it's using one of our Intel Xeon E5 processors. So the next one is, and I think Mohammed touched on the IEI Mustangs. So this is where what I spoke about just now, the FPGA and the VPU unit cards. So AxxonSoft recommends the use of two. One is the Intel Aria 10, the other one is the MirrorX. So AxxonSoft uses these two processing units to actually, and they actually leverage on the HDDL, which stands for High Density Deep Learning plugin, as well as the Vision Accelerator Designs, which is the two cards there. And the benchmark results actually show what Mohammed said just now, which is, it can handle 65 and even up to 70 channels based on how you take it. And, these two are the examples that I think AxxonSoft features as well, and they are the IEI Mustang cards. The V100 actually is one that uses the Myriad X, and the F100 is one that uses the Aria 10 FPGA cards. And they are both available off the shelf, and you can buy it via e-commerce or online as well. So the third one is what Mohammed touched on quite a bit, which is the Intel QuickSync video. And it's one of, similar to how OpenVINO is, QuickSync video is another tool that we offer to our partners as well as our customers. It's basically a hardware acceleration technology, and that you're actually using for either .264 or 265 video decoding. Now, the QuickSync video is a platform that is actually created and sort of offered to our partners because it leads to if I could say it this way, a decrease in terms of your footprint of your CPU when it's going through either a CPU or GPU acceleration. And essentially what it does is it actually takes up less performance of your CPU, which in turn actually allows you to use your CPU for either more channels or use it to do other things, right? And some of the examples that we have said here is, it can immensely reduce time when it's decoding video feeds. So that's a quicker time to response, a quicker time to results. You can use the additional capacity of your CPU power to handle more channels, more video streams. You can use it to do videos at a higher resolution, and you can basically save costs in terms of the level of hardware that you are implementing. And I would think this is a very good cap off in terms of how the partnership between Intel and AxxonSoft has developed to this stage. Our technology and our, I would say, philosophy and our vision in terms of how our processing unit is used is very deeply integrated with the AxxonSoft solutioning. And I just want to end the presentation with a very quick notice and disclaimer. If you want to review and see some of the benchmarkings that we have mentioned just now, when you do get the slide, you can refer to this page as well as the links that I've given, and you can find out how we're doing all the benchmarkings. And with that, Kate, if I could return to you, or if I could pass it to the next presenter. Thank you for your time. If you have any questions, if you are a fellow ISV or you're a fellow end customer and you want to know more about what are the Intel technology or how Intel could partner up with you today and offer what we have, do ping me or do send me a Q&A, and we can talk during the Q&A or we can talk offline. Thanks everyone. Thanks Kate. Yeah, if you could lead the next presenter to come on. Thank you. Thank you everyone.
Thank you very much, Malcolm, for a very informative presentation. I just want to add from my side that neural network acceleration devices were successfully deployed in multiple projects already, along with our AI analytics, and customers they're coming back to us with very positive feedback. And yes, and we have a next one, Seagate, presented by Danny. Danny, you're yeah.
Yep, I'm here. Can you see my screen?
Yes.
All right. Thanks, Mohammed. Okay, so I think in my session, I'm going to talk about the retained data. So, I mean, I'm probably going to give you a little bit more perspective about what is our point of view and how we are seeing the market moving. As all of you know, the storage needs in the video surveillance space or IoT space definitely continue to grow. So in my presentation, we have combinations of things that we are seeing in the market and how are we going to address that. And of course, looking at the storage perspective, how do we cope with those key growing trends? So without further ado, let me get started. The first one, or the first slide I would like to just cover is really to bring out the key point of data growth. As all of us know, I mean, data continue to grow, data continue to be created. So I think recently, past few years, we've been collaborating very closely with IDC on a report called Data Age 2025. Actually, from the survey itself or from the research itself, it's shown that from CY12 to calendar year 2025, actually there's 175 zettabytes data will be created. So 5 years, 2025 is not very far off from now. In fact, we are actually seeing the data continue to be exploding. Just to draw a perspective, a lot of people know what is gigabyte, terabyte, or even petabyte. So what is actually 1 zettabyte? So 1 zettabyte equals to 1 billion terabyte. So there's a lot of data that will be generated. A majority of the data that will be generated is not from structured data, is what we call unstructured data, is from your video, from your photos, from a lot of this that's collected that do not have a uniform size. However, if you look at the right slide itself, when you look at data growth or data creation, you always look into a perspective, well, is the data is going to everything to be stored? The actual fact is no. In fact, only 17 zettabytes or about 10% of the data that's created will be stored. However, this is where we are seeing where there are opportunities that not being that will be what we call data wastage, because a lot of data that is being created by IoT devices actually is very, very useful. But however, because of the challenges in terms of data storage costs, data management, data security, it makes it very challenging for a lot of people to actually store more. So in short, there will be more devices. In fact, most of the players out there, be it IoT devices or providers or even companies like Intel and all this, that continue to advocate that when there are more devices, more data, the use cases actually continue to expand. So video surveillance is no longer the market that we all know many years ago, right? Where it's purely utilized mainly for security. We like to coin this term that we always continue to advocate is really what we call video dividend, or a lot of people will say data is the new gold. But the point is, if you do not have technologies like AxxonSoft, you do not have technologies that enable those AI to operate, there's really no, or store data to be stored. There's really no actual efficient way to do it. I won't go through details because I believe that Mohammed have shared a lot of these use cases. The fact is, AI technology actually help accelerate the making sure the data becomes more and more valuable. When you have more data that's valuable, people will tend to store more. To draw into perspective, when you look at companies that operate on the internet, like the Facebook of the world and all those guys, they continue to have experienced exponential growth. That's because they actually utilize a lot of the data, and they have actually a way to monetize the data. In our video surveillance market, I believe that we believe that in order for people to fully realize the potential of data, they really need to actually be able to store more and actually get the insights from those data. So the question that we ask is, okay, what is that going to do with storage? Well, at the end of the day, when you have so many endpoint devices, be it your camera, your drone, your autonomous vehicle, right? All these devices that's exploding, billions of them, you will tend to have a challenge when it comes to edge, right? Basically, the edge has to change. That's why right now, when you look at the edge, there are a lot more solutions that make the solutions to make enable the technology to be more smarter. Like I believe that we've seen Intel or the solutions that talk about, we talk about inferencing, or we talk about training. So a lot of the devices out there is going to do a lot more other than just storage, right? So you have to aggregate and orchestrate the data at the edge. No longer there's one point of storage as well, because we believe that everything has to play a role. The edge has to be a smart edge, and we have to bring the storage or the data closer to the application where it actually allow that your ingestion point the devices out there to react faster, because everything have to be operating at the same time. Same goes to storage. There'll be a lot of challenges because if you think about it, when you have to deal with massive amount of data, how can you manage that? How do you enable those technology at a cost, a total cost of ownership that allow you to be able to store more? Because we are not talking about a solutions like at scale, like those guys that is operating at scale like the internet companies. But how do you take a different approach on that? It's a really key. So Seagate, everybody knows, a lot of people knows us as a hard disk drive company. But on top of being a hard disk drive company, which is our core, we do provide, we actually do power most of the storage infrastructure in the world today. We've been serving a global OEM that you might have been working with very closely in the world today. Other than that, we also serve all the global cloud service provider. When people talk about cloud, very often that they may not realize that even though your phone do not actually have any hard drive anymore, but the fact is the storage on the cloud is more than 80% resides on hard disk drive, which is the core of our technology. And that will continue to be the fact because there will be requirements that require IOPS, that doing compute or CPU and GPU, but there will also be a lot of massive requirement for mass capacity storage. But other than being partners with the cloud provider, we've been also exploring, expanding our approach into new markets, like engaging with technology, global technology companies like telcos or even autonomous vehicle companies. Why? Because everyone has a storage requirement and has a data requirement. So the approach that we are going to take is the solutions that you will probably later on see is going to change some the way that you look at Seagate. And of course, we would like to share more about our partnership with AxxonSoft and how we can actually help you on your journey to adopt more AI and also enable more storage solutions in your deployment. So when it comes to Seagate solutions, we have a whole suite of storage devices and also enterprise storage systems that suits different type of use cases and application. So when you look at the devices portfolio, which is our core solution offerings, we have Skyhawk and Skyhawk AI that goes into your NVR, DVR today. We have enterprise drive like Exhaust and Nitro SSD that really goes into your server and storage. In fact, these are some of the products that power most of your recording and storage compute devices today that is available out there. But I want to really draw you to look at our enterprise storage system, because this is an area where many people might not have known that Seagate do offer such solutions in the market. So Seagate, I mean, we've been traditionally go to market through a set of OEM. We do not actually go to market on our own brand, but we are also providing a whole suite of storage system solution that range from hybrid storage array, which is either all flash or either all hard drive block storage. At the same time, we do have the high density JBOD and application platform that will suit some of the requirement on large scale deployment. So as mentioned, Seagate has been supplying or doing storage systems for many years, which a lot of people might not know. In fact, for the last 30 years, we have actually shipped more than 1 million systems into the market, right? So Seagate is also the only vertically integrated provider, which means that we build anything from our ASIC controller, our SoC on the drive, to the media, to the system itself, right? The controllers. Why is that important? Because it is important because when we are a one net to choke, basically we are provider of the mass capacity storage, right? There's only one provider out there that can actually provide you an end-to-end, right? Because we also provide to most of the provider out there. So when you look at our storage solutions, in contrast to video surveillance, there are a few areas that you can look into where our product can be used. You can use it merely for our mid-range products like a less than 500 cameras, where you can connect directly to a server to a JBot, or you can actually have a multiple server connected to a switch to a SAN storage that provide you expansion, which is a block storage. On a larger deployment, whether you are considering a HCI, whether it's a server and storage or server with a JBot connection type of architecture, or a traditional, more like a scale up multiple server with a SAN architecture, we provide the level of scalability and provide the lowest cost of total cost of ownership and high data protection availability for your deployment. Because I believe that when you look at solutions like large VMS solutions like AxxonSoft that goes into different markets, right? You are usually looking at a distributed solution. But of course, a lot of people started to talk about solutions like vSaaS or hybrid cloud, right? We need to talk about that from a perspective of a lot of the cloud solutions today, which is deploying on a scale out type of architecture, is riding on the software-defined storage trend, right? A lot of them do not traditionally use enterprise class architecture. They do have a lot of this partnership with software vendor. And Seagate has been working very closely with a lot of this software vendor itself, right? So we have our JBot. In fact, we actually offer one of the largest, highest density JBot in the market. We have a 4U106 drive, which offer you 1.7 petabytes. In fact, if with 18 terabyte, which is announced, which we'll be rolling out shortly, that can even push the density of the storage higher. You're talking about one 4U with more than 1.7 petabytes. I think that's a very high density that may actually address some of your requirements. So what should you consider when it comes to storage systems, right? Scalability is very important because, as we all know, video recording will continue to grow. Resolutions and all these things will continue to evolve. Single point of failure is one key thing. Performance, and I think we know that workload continues to evolve. And last but not least is really TCO, right? It's really important. When you look at our solution itself in the distributed environment, like when you talk about AxxonSoft, where you have different servers, we really can provide a secured, a very high performance. And the most important thing is I want to highlight to you all about a technology that we have, which is ADAPT. A lot of people wanted to use, been using RAID for many years, right? So RAID served its purpose, but the problem and the challenge with RAID, as your hard disk drive or drive capacity becomes bigger and bigger, data rebuild time becomes a big challenge, right? A 10 terabyte may take you 55 hours to rebuild. So when you look at how do we enable people to use high capacity, that is where our ADAPT erasure coding technology comes in, where we can actually cut down the rebuild time by more than 90% by taking a different way to do data protection. We kind of spread out all the data across different drives, right? And then provide a very easy self-healing solutions to provide you the data protection that you need, while maintaining the performance and also the solutions that enable you to achieve lowest TCO. So if you are interested to know more, we can definitely share a lot more about this technology. But I want to kind of like ends up with the four things that when it comes to our solutions that we think that is a key advantage, which is number one is really streaming. I think when it comes to video recording, you're always talking about streaming. Streaming actually is driven by throughput of the hard drive at the same time as well as the control of the storage. So I think Seagate is, we built both of them, so we provide a very high performance. Secondly, ADAPT, as I mentioned earlier on, this is a technology that provides you options and provide you solutions that reduce down the barrier of you to use high capacity. We'll see bigger and bigger capacity moving forward, right? It needs to be a different approach moving forward. First to market, I think we talked about that earlier on. Seagate, unlike other OEMs in the market, so Seagate, we build our products, we do our solutions, so we can actually offer the latest technology into the market. And last but not least is as data security is becoming more and more important, a lot of projects actually require encryption technologies like self-encrypting drives. So Seagate built the self-encrypting drive itself for a lot of the providers. So our storage solutions do comes with inbuilt key managements to support, and we are also TAA certified, common criteria, FIPS 140-2. So if you have a requirement that comes into your projects and all those things, I mean, we are working with AxxonSoft currently also on a POC. Stay put and we'll stay tuned. We will be able to provide you more information on our testing POC as we completed that to share more on the next session. Okay, Mohammed, I think that's all that I have. Thank you very much for the time to share. I think that's a great pleasure to be able to share more with the team. Thank you.
Thank you very much for the presentation, Danny. Just to add on, being a major player in storage segment, Seagate really have a range of AI tailored products that will complement any security solution. Okay, let's move forward, and we have a next and the last presentation by EverFocus. Kate.
Yes. Hi everyone. Let me share my screen. And thanks for Seagate Dennis her presentation. Now it's my part. Hi everyone. This is Kate from EverFocus Taiwan. And it's my pleasure to give a speech on Exxon webinar. Today, I will share how our EverFocus AI Edge solution to create a safety city. Here is today's outline. First, I would like to take a few minutes to introduce our EverFocus. Then move on. The next part is our solution, the smart surveillance, and how we work with the Exxon software. The final part will be our successful story sharing. EverFocus was established in 1995. Until now, we have the 25 experience in surveillance industry. Our head office in Taiwan, and we have 3 branch offices in USA, California, and Tokyo, Japan, and Shenzhen, China. And we also have 2 factories in Taiwan and China. Since we have our own factory, we design and we manufacture our product for surveillance and also for video processing solutions. Then our products are including the SoC, the system on a chips devices, like DVR, NVR, mobile DVR, and industrial PCs. Especially on the industrial PC area, we participate with Intel ISA Alliance and NVIDIA preferred partner alliance for providing the more advanced IoT solutions. When it comes to EverFocus, our core values, it's our image professional knowledge, how to make the hardware suitable for Exxon software, and how to integrate with other existing systems according to different projects are our professionals. We helping our client design the system structure according to EverFocus hardware together with Exxon software. With our sales teams and our global technical support teams, we created many successful projects worldwide. On this part, I would like to share the smart surveillance. As you see, there are 2 major of marketing segments we are participate. On the left side is the general marketing. Our solution involve the smart surveillance, smart camps, smart helping care, and retail marketing. And another important marketing for us is the vehicle marketing. We have a lot of case about smart transportation and the fleet management solutions. The total of our solution will include the cameras, networking recorder, the mobile for transportation use, the recorder, industrial PC, also the hardware, which powered by Axon software. On this page, you will see more clearly about our service chart. You can see how we form a service chain to provide the client total solution. From the bottom is the various kinds of camera and accessories. And in the middle is our AI edge computing. Those AI edge computing, you can using on the edge side to share the loading from the backend system. On the top of the chart, you can see the backend server system. This is our Solter series. And inside the software is powered by Axon. And on this page, you can see our AI server system. The major of our product, Solter 64, is the standard 2U ranking network NVR, supporting bar-based hard disk storage, which supported 64 channel of AxxonSoft software. And this one is also the product which using by our enterprise and industrial clients. It supported the RAID function and power redundant to making sure clients' data are perfectly recording and keep on the storage. Also, if the client's sync is not big enough about the storage, we are also provided the JBAR solution. On the Solter 64 is also equipped with the NVIDIA graphic card. And if client want to increasing the AI computing power, we are also supporting the Intel Movidius AI module. Besides the 64 channels NVIDIA we provided, we also have the Aries 128 model. This model is supported 128 Axon software. And we also have another 2 high level of the server, which will upcoming in next year, 2021. So our client, they can find their suitable heart rate from our product list. And on the final part, I would like to share some of our successful stories. The first one is Taipei Mail Processor Center, which we just finished the first phase of the installation. This mail processor center are located in 3 different cities, and each one are 8-floor buildings. In the past, those buildings are installed different brands of the camera systems from different models and also from different companies. So on this project, our challenge is how we can replace, upgrade, and even do the integration to make the old system together with the new installing system can work together. On the hardware, we choose the Solter 64 as its network recorder. And our Solter 64 is listed on Intel RFP. So it's the ready for proposal product line in the Intel IoT solutions. And on inside of Solter 64 is Intel Xeon CPU, and also provided the back-end operations. On this mail processor centered project, we use AxxonSoft software and do the video analyze functions. One of that is license plate recognition. So this system can keep tracking of the vehicle when they are on the permission or not, when they enter the parking lot. In addition, we also use the AxxonNext function facial recognition to allow the system to keep an eye on the visitor who enter the facilities and helping the access control check. The second case I want to share is the Taipei Fine Arts Museum. We all know that museum collecting a lot of pressure and value masterpieces. In order to protecting those pressure, EverFocus designed a strong surveillance solution for the museum. On this project, we also used the SOTA 64 and AxxonNext software to conduct the fire and smoke detection. On this case, we also bring our EverFocus analog DVR in the system design. So EverFocus analog DVR is supporting Axon software. So client can using their existing analog system together with the Axon software. And the final cases I would like to share is elementary school in New Taipei City. This school was facing the kid security issues because the more and more child kidnapping cases. The parents and teachers are worried about the students' safety. So EverFocus on this case, we built a virtual fence by EverFocus Solter hardware and also AxxonNext software. Through the virtual fence configurations, the school guard can monitor the stranger more easily than before. Once the suspicious people appeared in the image, the alert system will automatically warn the guard, then they can take the action in time. And those are the successful stories I want to share today. And I'm the sales Kate in charge of the Southeast Asia and Australia, New Zealand area. And thank you for today's listening. And if you have a question, welcome to ask me. And also welcome to scan our QR code to know more about EverFocus solutions. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Kate, for a very good presentation. Just want to add from my side that, as Kate mentioned, there are projects done jointly with EverFocus using their hardware and and our software solution, which actually creates quite powerful synergy. And definitely there are more to come. And thanks everyone, Intel, Seagate, Danny, Malcolm, Kate. We will be wrapping up, and I really hope that the presentation, the session wasn't very long, but it was, I think, quite an informative session for everyone. And we'll definitely be trying to do such events more often. And if you have any questions or suggestions, please feel free to contact us anytime. Thanks again, and I wish a really great day to everyone.